this shit boggles my mind, and we're fighting over something that the media is just perpetuating. Like
No, I agree.
let's
I
let.
definitely think the
I
media has
mean,
a play
in the
in
way,
a lot of
and
this.
when I started analyzing, I'm like 5 facts, 1 opinion, and I started just thinking about all that shit. But yeah, dude, I'm definitely for. And I'm not gonna say those words. I'm gonna say I am for the fucking betterment of humanity
I think that's a good way of putting
through
it. I
through
like that. You know what?
kindness.
I like that. You're for the betterment of humanity. I think that is a good
Cause
way to look at it, and I wish more people did.
You are about to listen to the Yin Yang
it's kind of like we have
Podcast.
everything on two different sides. It's like kind of a new thing. I guess you just have to try it yourself. Just listen.
You are about to listen to the Yin Yang Podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the Yin and Yang podcast. Man, how you doing, Yin? How you doing?
Not too shabby. It's pretty beautiful out. Loving it.
Yeah,
How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a minute. We were supposed to do some shorts over the week, but we didn't get a chance to. We both were pretty busy, and
Short shorts.
yeah, shorts. But this is going to be a pretty interesting stream. I'm interested to see who's going to jump in with us. I hope people do because this is a pretty big topic right now, and I would love to hear other people's opinions on it. And I just want to talk to people, like you know. But
Yeah, same here, man.
so hopefully we get some interesting conversations. Hopefully we get some people that want to talk with us and are open
Chime
to
in.
the other views or just anything in general. That's what we want to promote: open conversation, open end anything. Just talk about anything. We don't care. So
Some dialogue.
yeah, open and dialogue. But before we get started, if you're new here, make sure you guys follow us. If you're watching us on Twitch, for the YouTube people, subscribe to our channel, like, comment, make sure you hit that bell so that you're notified when our new videos drop. It's all those things. It helps our channel immensely, and we can't thank you enough if you do. But let's get to our topic. And the main topic of today is America racist? Just plain simple, like I've heard the term systematic racism. So the whole system itself is racist. Everybody is a racist. If you have a certain color of skin, you're racist. Like I've heard it all. So I toss it to you, bud, because we were kind of talking about before. I want to hear your thoughts right off the bat. Is America racist? What do you think? Go with it.
Um, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, why?
It's because everywhere is racist. Everything, that's what I believe. I mean, and I think it's been a long time, like a long genetic, long. I mean, it's in our evolution. It's just the survival mechanism. You stay with the tribe that you know what I mean. And we all started out as tribes. I mean, our last name is a tribe. You know what I mean? It's our tribes, and anything that veers off from our tribe, is a threat. You know, and I mean that's how we've been for like people forget that we've been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. There's things that we have in our culture that scientists don't even know, and I think we have things in our brains that we're just finding out, and I don't even think we're finding out because it's not even an idea or a topic that maybe this is deeper than maybe it's simpler. It's deeper and simpler than what it appears to be, because what it appears to be is some us doing psychology on somebody else and trying to plot out. You'll never know if somebody's racist. Maybe we can find out through actual science. You know what I mean? What's going on? But nobody's doing that because it's more money. I guess they're losing money, but the media is making tons of money off of it. So, but everybody else is losing. But I think it is around, and it's been around forever. I mean, let's just within the last couple hundred years, let's say America. America had Indians, had tons of tribes. They fought each other because they were from different tribes, and they slaughtered. They did brutal things. They enslaved. They raped. And then this was Europe and freaking China and France, started coming over, and then British, and then we fucking came over and we fought fucking the French and fucking every other fucking shit. And we started winning and we fought the British, and we fought, you know what I mean? And then we brought over some slaves. We brought over some slaves off the rip. It was a little different then, but when they went to the South, we started making all that money off of cotton, and money plays a role through all of this because somebody's making money, either the media or the cotton farmer, pretty much the same thing at this point. But yeah, I think it's a long way coming, and freaking, it's just bred into us as a survival mechanism. Stay with your tribe,
Okay.
and if your tribe's doing good, like making millions, you don't want to veer off from that,
Okay.
or you have some type of entitlement. It's just tribes clashing.
Okay, so I'm gonna unpack a couple things. You said a lot there. So you started off by saying you believe yes, America is racist because it's in our genetics. We'll start there. So you think people are ingrained with racism genetically right off the bat. So you think that. So I'm just trying to make sure I understand what you're saying. So you think that like what constitutes
I don't think it's I don't think it's racism. I mean, so racism is when it's not even when it's based on color. Because I think white people are racist. Everybody's racist to, or not. That's the word. It's not the word. It's not the word. What's going on? I think there's a different word that they're trying to say, but and ignorance and racism. I don't even think there's a. I mean, obviously there's the same. I feel as if there's the same thing.
right? But I'm just trying to
But
understand what you're saying.
But
So what you're saying, but you said that it used to be some genetics with the whole, tribal mentality, like stay with your tribe thing. So what you're saying is when a child is born, it's innately racist right off the bat. Yes or no?
no, it's taught to them by their tribe. Whether
So it's not
to,
genetics; it's societal. Was what then? Because
No, it's not a society because it's the tribe. It's the family. It's not just one, two. Like you're talking about right off of birth. Nobody.
well, then it's not
baby,
genetics. That's I'm just proving that point though, because you eventually said it's in our genetics, and then I'm just making a point here. That's all. Like it's not genetics then if unless you can make the argument that that's right off the bat someone's racist, then it's not genetics.
That goes on if the traits. It's in our genetics to survive, and I believe that's a survival mechanism.
That if
So
you
I
see
think
somebody,
it's genetic. I think it's genetic. Yeah, it's
so
just like
so
our eyes open and wide. A baby's eyes open wide. I didn't have to teach it that.
right, that's what I'm saying. So you think that it's instinctively that like I'm just going to use an example. So instinctively, a white baby when it's born, if it sees a black guy, it's automatically racist.
It's not racist. A baby cannot be racist.
Okay, then it's not genetic. That's my point. That's the point. It's because an individual teaches another human being to hate
But humans
or
don't
dislike somebody. Because I have children and my children don't
you gotta
care.
imagine awareness, though. Babies don't realize a lot of fucking things.
I know, but I'm
dude.
just saying, like
I mean,
I'm saying
you use a
racism is
baby.
that's my point. Racism is taught,
That's not a
not
good
that it's
analogy.
born,
That's not a
not
good
that it's
metaphor.
born with that way. Like a kid's not comes out of the womb and just sees somebody, because they got a different skin tone and just like,
Babies
"Ah!"
don't see anything, dude. You can fucking have a dinosaur. They don't fucking know.
Okay,
Or
even
care. Just as
children,
long as you
even children. Like I'm just saying, like
I think children. It depends on their age, at an age. But you're talking about that has no contact with anybody. That are they, like that's impossible. That's not going to fucking realistically happen. So you can't even bring an analogy to the freaking dinner table without it being somewhat like realistic. Baby, you know what I mean? Like, no, they have to get raised by people. They have to do this, and they are going to teach them what not to eat, what not to do, who to go with, who not to go with, who to trust, and who not to trust. That analogy you're coming up with is totally just you can't even base anything on that because it's impossible.
exactly. That's my point. That is my point. I was giving you an extreme example because you're saying that it's
That's beyond
genetic.
extreme. That's not even
That,
realistic.
but that's what I'm saying. You can, but that's still that's in the realm of that. But you can't say all people are racist because it's in their genetics. That's what you just said.
Yeah, but I'm also saying I'm not even and everything that we're talking about. I'm not even using the word racist because I don't think it's called. I don't think it's racist. I think this is survival mechanisms built into us. I know you're trying to get through that ground right now, but you get your DNA from your parents. Your parents got taught stuff throughout the years through people of their genetics. You know what I mean? Like it's the tribe.
Okay,
I don't know what it is.
that's my main point though. It's not in your genetics then if it's something that's taught to you. And your genetics is something like your eye color, stuff like that. That's stuff that you're innately born with that you can't
I'm
control.
not saying like literal genetics. I'm just talking about like
Then it's not. That's what I'm saying.
in
It's
your tribe. Okay, I'll just say in
societal.
your tribe.
So that's what I'm saying. Societal. Like it's something that's taught to you.
Yeah, but I don't think it has anything to do with society. I mean, it obviously if you intermingle with it, there's people that live out in the fucking woods. You know, people that don't talk. There's people that live in suburbia that are isolated. Like there's a lot, like, probably a large portion. I am. I don't fuck. You know what I mean?
So
Society doesn't play a big part in my life. Like,
because you stay away from everybody, you just hate people in general.
yeah, no, I fucking love everybody. I've turned off the news and just go out and talk to people. You know what I mean? Whenever I go out to the store and just experience it because the media is, perpetuating the sensationalism of what's going on. And they got me. I'm like the nicest guy in the world, and they got me for like a day or two, and I was just like, after George Floyd, and I just stopped after I watched the Dorn video, and that was just fucking heartbreaking. I just deleted everything and unplugged.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still pay attention to some of the media stuff, but like nothing, I want to know if there's a nuke coming my way or whatever. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, that's another thing is I think media has a big role in playing of, pushing a certain narrative or
They're the only people. They're the
Yeah.
only people that are. That's what caused the riots, dude. Was the media just playing over and over and over and over and over this new shit, algorithms for pissed off, angry people, young people that are quick to jump to things
yeah.
and
Hold on.
not analyze before. You know what I mean?
We got a question in the comments from Just Geo. It says, "Do you know Triple X Tenacon?" I don't know what the hell that is, honestly.
Tenacion, yeah.
Tenacion, yeah, I know who
He-
that is.
He's a rapper. He got shot in his car, and they had a video of him.
Did they
When
really?
he got shot,
I've not
yeah,
seen
in
that yet.
Florida. Dude, it's a freaking, and it's up close, and he's just laid out in his car. He like went into a shop to buy some like just looking at like sports cars and shit,
Yeah.
and he came out and got murdered, dude. And
Oh,
they
shit.
caught the people, and they're in fucking
Well, I hope they're in jail. Yeah. If I'm a firm believer. If you
murder somebody.
Yeah, if you murder somebody, then yeah, you should go to jail. I don't care who you are, what color you are, you go to jail. Like you do a crime, doesn't care what color you are, you go to
What
fucking
about
jail.
Chauvin or whatever his name? Do you think he should go to jail?
Oh, the guy. You mean the guy that
Killed George Floyd?
Oh yeah, it
Or-
was a good example of excessive police brutality, and I think that is the
Do you
bigger
think
issue
that
that
would-
everyone's missing.
I have something that after watching Dorn video, I had a slight epiphany. That's what I was talking about you earlier before the podcast. I've never finished it, but I'll just finish it now since it's nice and short and sweet.
Go for it.
But what if he was detaining him? Like, did you ever try to choke somebody out, dude? Like, you have to get in there underneath his Adam's apple. This and this.
You're hitting your mic when you do that. Be careful.
I'm sorry, but this. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he was on the side of the neck and on the back. On the back, he was on his stomach, like, with his knee, like, and he had fentanyl and COVID-19. Like, I don't know if that's true from what I heard, but even just from the chokehold being a healthy dude, like, and he's a big dude, and like, there could have been other causes. If he was resisting arrest, I did see a freaking thing where he was kind of resisting arrest. If you're 6'7", 279, and I'm a freaking skinny white guy, I'm like 5'7", $150.
No,
with a little
no,
belt.
that guy was six. Our reports he was anywhere from 6'4" to 6'7", and between 225 and 250. That was the.
I didn't even hear that, and I was pretty close. I was like 6'7", 250. And, like, he's a big motherfucker, dude.
That guy was a big dude.
And, like, if you're like, okay, like, sometimes they put people in handcuffs, and you're like, yeah, no. Like, that's a dude you don't want to. So you want to put him in handcuffs as soon as possible. Because if they call the fucking cops, and you show up for a crime, whether or not, what the fuck, and you just put yourself in a bad situation, sometimes a cop just has to do their jobs. They've been reporting it and all of that shit.
I agree,
So,
but he's still like there is nothing in a police training that says put your your knee on his neck for 9 fucking
yeah,
minutes.
there is. There is.
Not for 9 minutes, and when he stops moving, he's no longer a threat. You neutralize the
No.
threat. You don't need to do it anymore.
What, on his stomach? That dude could beat the brakes off of him with his hands behind his back.
No, but
For
you,
real,
you
dude.
have but you have 4 other cops around you. Your neck is your
What are
knee
you
is
gonna
on his
do?
neck.
You have to. If he's resisting arrest,
Wait,
what
hold
the
on.
fuck are you gonna do? You gonna let him stand up?
No.
I'm just being-
But
I'm just-
you don't put it on his neck. You put it on between his shoulder blades. You don't put it on his neck. That's
Nah,
that's poor police training right there. You don't
I
just
think that's handbook, bro.
that is not handbook. You find me.
That's a jiu-jitsu move. Where do you think they get this shit from?
Yeah,
dude?
but if you I've looked at
I don't
lot
think
of
it's a lethal move. I don't think it's lethal.
okay, but for
I
9
think
minutes
it might-
having someone's knee on the back of your neck.
You have to wait for freaking help.
He had 4 officers around him. What more help do you want? Okay.
Well, you have a
you-
crowd of people around them, and you have to keep the freaking shit secure. Because maybe, who knows what they're doing? Maybe they're calling in a medic. But they have to detain the dude. Like, who knows? We don't know. And that's why I don't know. But I'm saying there could be all kinds of things. I don't think what he was doing was lethal or out of line. If there's a 6'7", 250-pound black dude that you just luckily got the handcuffs, because if he didn't have the handcuffs on, those 4 cops would have been mush meat. And with the handcuffs on, that dude could plow all 4 of those brothers, and they knew that.
Okay.
So then you have a crowd of black people, a fucking resisting arrest dude with fucking COVID-19. And I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that is a possibility. It could have been the other way. Who knows? But I'm saying there's other possibilities than what you saw. I mean, that's my opinion.
But the thing is,
it's
like
a
the
valid
video.
opinion.
The thing is, though, the video showed the dude was on his neck for 9 minutes. You find me the
Doesn't
police.
matter, dude.
Stop. Let me finish my point. You find me the police handbook that shows that an officer in his training is told to put your knee on somebody's neck. That's not true. It's supposed to go on their shoulder blades. Stop. No, he still did the technique wrong, which that's the main point. It's poor police training, and he was on his neck for 9 minutes. The guy was not moving for 2 minutes. Like, not speaking, he was unconscious for 2 minutes. That's excessive. Right there. The guy's unconscious. Get off of him. He's no longer a threat. You have 4 people there, other officers there with weapons. He's got his handcuffs behind his neck.
First off, the other cops there were fucking probably securing the crime scene. So this dude was on their own, and at the same time making sure this dude, this huge linebacker dude, doesn't fucking fuck them up. They probably do the shit. They've been doing this shit for years. They've probably seen so much crazy shit. Working downtown fucking Minneapolis or whatever the fuck.
Still doesn't justify us doing the wrong thing. Like you
I don't think he did the wrong thing.
I strongly disagree.
It was on the back of his neck. You're not moving anywhere, dude.
But that's still wrong. You're still doing the training wrong. It doesn't matter what you think about what the cop thinks. If he thinks it's a better action, he's still doing the training wrong.
There. It's a jiu-jitsu move. It's non-lethal, dude. I mean, put all of the shit together, dude. I mean, it's very easy to be railroaded by a video. Even a video unedited. But put together other circumstances, and those circumstances will add up more than what you... it's fucking... Do it, dude.
Okay,
you can put all kinds of weight on there. I can fucking do neck lifts all day. That dude was huge.
Regardless, they're training...
That dude's neck is not gonna fucking care about some shit, dude.
Regardless, there's nothing in the training manual that would say.
One more thing.
Oh, okay.
A time limit. They're like, what? You're saying a time limit? I'm like, a time limit on what? Wait, they're like, oh, they're gonna calm down in 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
No. I'm not saying a time limit.
Detain a dude,
no, when he's unconscious for 2 minutes, he's no longer a threat. He's honestly no longer a threat when you have a couple cars there.
Did you see his face? He was looking up. He was trying to secure the scene. He was probably happy that.
But then you have other officers also telling the guy to get off of him, because he can't breathe.
He called for the paramedics, and he was waiting on the paramedics.
Okay.
After he probably stops for his fight. I mean, we could go on forever. There's all kinds of.
We're getting off in the weeds on George Floyd, but we don't want to talk specifically about that case because we're gonna disagree on that because I think the cop did the wrong thing. Like this, I've seen so many reports. Other police are saying yes, he did the wrong thing. You're not supposed to put your knee in the back of someone's neck because it could cause serious injury. Because
I agree.
Because you just defended it. Because when it,
But
like it
I
or
thought
not,
I'm
when a
looking
cop
at both
when a cop
sides.
puts you in his when he detains you, he is still putting you in his care. He's still responsible for your health and safety, especially if you're cooperating. Now, even
But
if
he's
like
also responsible for his health and safety too.
I agree with that, but at that point, based on that video, I'm gonna preface it. Based on that video, George Floyd was no longer a threat. You had your knee on his neck for 9 minutes.
I agree. It's the videos, the other videos from the street view where they were having a little difficulty.
Right, he resisted. Yes, I agree. He resisted arrest, but you got him on the ground. Yes, he resisted arrest in the beginning, but you got him on the ground. You have your knee in his neck, like regardless, if you're trying to get him down. But yeah, you got him on the ground. He's no longer a threat. You got the cuffs behind his back. He's no longer a threat. You have 4 other cops with him, and then
you
if he
get up with handcuffs and pummel motherfuckers, dude. You can get up with handcuffs and pummel some motherfuckers, and this dude is huge. That's what I've been talking about the whole time.
I don't think George.
He can literally take them behind with hands behind. Dude, did you see those fucking floppy fuckers? This dude's a bouncer, 270, 6'7". This dude should be playing in the fucking NFL, bro. I'm just saying. No, I'm against it, dude. Too. Obviously I don't want to see brothers getting killed. I'm a brother, but at the same time, I'm just telling you, there's 2 views in my mind. And one is based on a lot more fact than the other. The other one is just me doing my tribalism. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, that's part of my tribe. But at the same time, let's look at a view of it from a cop and having to do his job and having to do with this shit for 17 years, and he's still alive.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm all for cops doing this, trying to protect themselves if it's within reason.
Stupid bullshit. But as soon as you resist arrest, you are a threat to the cops and the cops' lives, and it should be taken.
That I agree with. That's what I'm saying. They took him to the ground.
It should be taken with the utmost security of their own lives. That means
I agree with that.
And a motherfucker that's reaching in their coat. No, dude, I got the like, put your hands up, and he reaches in the coat. What are you gonna do?
I agree with that. You're
not gonna have time for him to pull out a gun and shoot you or his friend.
But that's a different example, and I agree with that. But I agree. Cops should be able to defend their lives when the threat is real. But the point is, I'm saying he was neutralized. He was on the ground. At that point, he's no longer a threat. That's my point I'm making.
I'm still saying he's a threat, neutral, on the ground with handcuffs on.
I'm saying then we can agree to disagree because we're not going to get anywhere if we keep going in circles. I agree. We kind of go off in the weeds about George Floyd. Those in the comments are watching this later. Let us know what you think. Do you think it was excessive, or do you think he was already, when he was on the ground, he was done? He's already neutralized. No need for to be on the neck for 9 minutes. Let's move on.
Even if he could still get up, and once he's up, he is definitely.
So wait, are you saying that cop shouldn't go to jail? I'm gonna kind of throw that at you then. Do you think he's responsible for his murder?
If that was the case, I don't think it's a murder. Is it a murder when a cop does his job and somebody has complications while doing his job? Should they go to jail if some meth head is fucking flipping out and doing their shit?
We're not talking about a meth head. We're talking about this situation. But with this situation, he's not doing the technique that was taught properly by the police department. He was doing the technique wrong.
I don't think he should go to jail if that was the case.
So even though it was like I don't think he went out to try to kill the guy, but it was still involuntary. I think manslaughter is the appropriate thing because he would cause to kill the guy based off the autopsy report. But so I'm just saying. He did the technique wrong. There's a reason the police teach you a certain way of doing things. Like the same thing with the military. You're taught a technique or something a certain way, so that way it's a standard across the board. When you veer from that standard, you're no longer protected by the badge or anything like that. You're doing things wrong and you're acting out on your own. He acted on his own, and he put his knee into dude's neck for 9 minutes. He was no longer a threat. Even if it was temporary, just to get him down. Even if he needed to put his knee into his neck to get him down temporarily, the guy's not moving, and you have other backup.
How do you know that? Oh, for
the
2
video.
Minutes.
The video.
Yeah, for 2 minutes. I'm not talking about during the whole thing. I'm okay. I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
We do need to move on though.
Yeah.
You were like, we need to move on, and then
We,
you went back.
well, I asked you.
know
It
that.
was a different question. Like you don't like. So that's. I was just getting making sure. So you don't.
Yeah, I got you.
You don't think.
It's
You don't think that the cop should be sent to jail. You don't think he was the cause of his death.
I don't think so. Not
Okay,
from what I viewed. It looks like that was a non-lethal move, and brothers of that age, we get heart disease, COVID-19's around, and fentanyl. If that's true, dude, and the fentanyl, I'm gonna go with the four facts over the one opinion. You know what I mean?
Okay, we can agree to disagree on that. So I'm just making sure.
One opinion, an opinion based on tribalism.
Okay.
Because that's natural.
Because there's other facts that are coming out. Like
I felt like that the first 4 days, till I watched that Dorn video, and then I was just like, watching black people kill black people and white people.
Well, it's bad across the board. Anybody that commits an act of violence against anybody, I think, is just a bad person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not just because it's a black person, not a black person.
Right.
It'd feel the same way. Same way as like if there was white people getting killed by cops, I'd be with them 100%. I'm sure black people would too.
Okay.
Right. But in reality, the world is good. You go outside, go to McDonald's, talk to anybody in line, they'll be fine with you.
Okay. All right. Since we're on the topic of cops, so let's keep with the topic of cops, and we'll bring it back around to whether or not we think America as a whole is just racist, like endemically racist or systematically, however you want to put it. So let's keep. We already talked about cops. Let's keep talking about cops. There's a lot of things going on in the media right now where they're saying, defund the police. All cops are bad. All cops are racist. What do you think? Do you think, I want you to go first again, and then I'll say my 2 cents. Are all cops racist, or are they all bad?
All right, so we already went through this. Well, at least one part of it for me is the genetic thing. And so everybody has some type, and I'm going to say some people don't through our tribe. Our tribe says, hey, we can trust everybody. You know what I mean?
Hey, real quick, can you turn on a light or something? It's real hard. It's getting dark in your house. There we go, bro.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
And so, like I said earlier, some people, like this is our tribe. Okay, and then lately nowadays, in the last 100 years or so, probably less than that, 50 years, some people were saying, hey, guys, the world is our tribe. So, there's some people that like, a lot of people that are like, you know what? Everybody's okay. This guy doesn't matter. And people have been doing that for the last 50 years. Pretty a good idea, noticing our climate, but not all people. So I'm going to say with cops, I mean, there's some racists and there's probably some not. And I don't know if it's really racism or ignorance because, they don't understand that their tribe taught them to be like that. Don't know. I didn't even think about it, and I was taught to be like that. I didn't know that me thinking somebody else is racist. You know what I mean? And I thought like that, and then through our conversations, and I've realized that is just that's racism.
Yeah.
And I think we all are genetically, and not all, but some tribes, raised from babies. But still, even raised from babies, if you get attacked by somebody of a different color, you can just, and you can't go to your parents and talk about it, and you find a hate group. So even those people find, not a genetic tribe, but, a new tribe to start their tribe on, because then they can teach their kids something that their parents, because there's probably some of that too, you know what I mean? That goes for black and white, you know what I mean? Or every other color. So I like this tribalism aspect for a metaphor. Okay. Because I don't like the word racism because it's, it's an emotion, I think.
Yeah, but okay, so you keep bringing back up genetics again, and we already talked about genetics is not the same thing as tribalism, because that's a social aspect versus a predisposition, like how you're born. It's not the same thing.
I'm just saying, I don't think all cops are racist because there's just so many different makeups of them.
And I agree. I agree with that aspect. Yes, I don't think all cops are racist, and it comes down to, like, with my opinion on this, it comes down to the individual. And I partially agree with what you're saying. Yes, a lot of people are taught to be racist. A lot of people are taught, hey, just because you got a different tone of melanin in your skin, that person is bad, which I disagree with. Or they promote stereotypes and they perpetuate this lie with, you got to hate this person just because they're a different color skin. Or there's a lot of different factors that can be taught to people, and then they don't know any differently because that's the environment they're around, and boom, right there, racism is born. But I don't think all cops are bad. I don't think all. I think more. I think the majority of cops are good. Like I'll throw that out there. That's an unpopular opinion right now.
I'll agree with that too.
Yeah, because it comes down to the individuals, and I think this is an individual. Like I'm not let's say an issue, but it's based off the individual, and I think I like how it brings up the next question, like how do we change that? And like a couple things is we should just start like if like there's a lot of cops that can't be fired even if they do wrong things. There's a couple like things like police unions where like if someone's even just like they have to do something back. So if like a police chief notices, hey, this person is, you know, in this hate group or they're doing this other thing, like unless they get some like they're in unions and everything, they can't just get rid of them unless they actually break the law. They can't just like, oh, this cop is not doing his job well enough. The union's protecting them. I think we should get rid of police unions. You know what I mean?
I believe a cop's job is fucking really difficult. And
I agree with that.
I think, and it's really flexible. They have to deal with the livelihood and protection of themselves, their co-workers, and the people, the public, citizens. And they have to figure out whether they need to be judged by, a judge. If they've committed a crime, they have to, decide. And I think it's a lot of fucking shit that we don't know about and we can't talk shit about, but they're the only people running around with guns and, putting their lives on the line over stupid shit and dying,
Yeah, and I think that's horrible. I think,
And,
especially the good ones that aren't doing
it's
anything.
their job. It's their job. That's why they did it.
No, they did it because they want to serve the community and they want to make it a better place. I think that's generally most people. They don't want to go out there and try to die.
Nobody wants to do that, but that's the risk that they take. Not a lot of jobs entail
Right.
death by any crazy, and you're the one going straight to the heart of it, dude. Every fucking night. It's not an if, and, or but. You are going to deal with violent people with weapons on some of the best drugs in the world for next to nothing. Hugest economy in a fucking pandemic while riot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I've also, I've been looking at it at both sides. I'm not for anybody. I'm definitely for the lives of all people. I know that's stupid, but I'm definitely in the fucking for black people. I'm black, and that's my tribalism. But I'm just thinking, just like Jesus. It is about everybody, and which way is the media portraying it to make it look like I'm a victim or our people are victims when there are all victims and stupid shit, and they're all ignorant. And it's so deep into our, us to protect ourselves, that we have to we just have to understand that it is us trying to protect ourselves, and we have to find a group to, you know what I mean? To keep us safe. We're wolves, dude. We have to be in packs. And we gather around. And that's the way I feel about it. Hello?
Yeah, I'm just letting you go. I don't want to interrupt you because I want to make sure you get your full point across.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty much it.
Okay. So basically, just to summarize, like, you're more of the like I want to pick something out of there. You said you're more for all lives, so you're more for like the all lives matter, not just when people say just Black Lives Matter type thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much, but I don't even want to say I'm for that because it's like, duh, I don't want anybody getting hurt. I don't want anybody getting killed.
Right, I agree.
And I'd stand up for. I'm just sure as anybody would. I'm not going into that media bullshit, that media aspect of like Black Lives, all lives matter. Fuck that shit, dude. I'm for everybody. I'm gonna fucking help out a human being no matter what, and I'm gonna stand up for the cause of nobody getting fucking fucked up. I'm for the people of the Congo, and I'm people for the Congo Republic. I know like a lot of shit that's going on. Fucking Syria, all the fucking war, fucking Saudi Arabia bombing fucking with our weapons. I'm like, this shit boggles my mind. And we're fighting over something that the media is just perpetuating. Like.
No, I agree. I definitely think the media has a play in a lot of this.
And when I started analyzing, I'm like 5 facts, 1 opinion, and I started just thinking about all that shit. But yeah, dude, I'm definitely for. I'm not gonna say those words. I'm gonna say I am for the fucking betterment of humanity.
I think that's a good way of putting it. I like that. I like that. You're for the betterment of humanity. I think that is a good way to look at it, and I wish more people did, because I agree. I think just people either spouting, Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. I think that is a worse thing, because then it shows you're for a side or something. You know what I mean? It perpetuates something like you're either saying Black Lives Matter, but then if you say all lives matter, then people are like, well, you're not thinking about black lives. You're just saying all lives and blah. Like it's causing more tension. I like that. You're for the betterment of humanity, and I think that is a good way of putting it, instead of just saying either Black Lives Matter or all lives matter. The betterment of humanity. That's a great way. I wish I would have thought of that. That's good.
Yeah, and it was like fucking yeah. It's just simple, man. It's simple. And if people put themselves in other people's shoes before they rush to doing shit, just think about it. Like the way I thought about it. Like, and that boggled my mind. Like, it was a twist. And I had to watch that Dorn video, because after that, I was just shocked. And like, I hate to go back to it, but like, that just fucking made me think of and put myself in the cop's shoes, dude.
Right.
Put myself into that situation, and physically.
Right.
Physically, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick, because
I felt the pressure on the neck where that dude was doing it. Huh? Okay. And then you start gathering information, and these are facts. And then what I saw was my opinion. What I saw was what I was, what they wanted me to see. And I mean, granted, it was a video, an unfiltered video, but that was what I wanted to see, maybe. You know what I mean? It's not what they wanted me. That's what I wanted. That's what everybody wanted to see. And that's bad. And that's sad if that's the truth. But that's some psychological shit, dude. Because if you got 10 facts and 1 opinion, all rights go to the facts over the opinion. And if everybody saw that, that's why we're in the situation we are. And that makes complete sense.
Yeah. So real quick, for people that don't know, David Dorn was a retired St. Louis police captain who then joined a local police force and was outside of his buddy's pawn shop that he knew. It was called Lee's Pawn Shop and Jewelry, and he was shot by people like in cold blood. Just guy walked up to him, shot him for a fucking TV. There's a video all over the internet, so. For those who don't know who Dave Dorn, because that way you know what Yen's talking about.
Warning,
it's bad.
It is a very graphic video, and I cut off social media after watching it, and it's pretty brutal. Yeah. It's traumatizing.
And this is an example of what kind of you're talking about, the media perpetuating like things they want to show. I hardly saw any media coverage over this David Dorn shit. You know where I found it? Yeah. I heard from like small channels that I listened to. I heard it from them first. I didn't hear it from big media corporations, because you know what it does? It takes away from the narrative that white cops are just shooting black people on the daily when they see a black dude shoot a black cop in cold blood. They didn't want to put that in the media because it takes away from their narrative. And I think that's bullshit.
I don't necessarily agree with that. It's not selling. That's not what sells.
That's what I'm saying. It's not selling. Like, their narrative is selling right now. That's what the division and the hate.
Okay, I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying. That's their narrative. Okay, let me twist it. Let me not twist it. Let me turn it.
I think that
present it a different way.
Between that and stoking the fires too much.
That's what
you know what I mean.
Yeah, let me reword it in a different way.
They know when to back. They know when to back off a little. You know what I mean? Like, they know how to do that. They do it. So they know what they're doing, dude. They're pros. They're not.
Yeah,
New York Times, Washington Post. You
Well, they're all
know, for
perpetuating the same
nothing.
thing. But like, let me.
And we're adding to it too.
Well, we're coming at it from a different way, and I hope it gets people to think about it. You know what I mean? And think of things
Yeah.
differently. And like, that's another thing. I'm tired of people saying like, just they only see one side of it, and then anytime you try to bring up like, hey, what about this? And they're like, no, you're a bigot. Like, how am I a bigot? I'm trying to bring a different side, and you don't want to fucking hear what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
That
Is
is
the
the
definition of Yeah,
bigotry.
that is the definition of bigotry right there. And I'll even
bigot in its word is bigotry.
Yeah. So like I will read the definition of a bigot right now. A person who is intolerant towards those holding different opinions. So all those people out there on social media, they're probably not gonna like me saying this or like hearing me say this. But if you're saying on social media, oh, this person's like Trump's a bigot. Okay, well then when you have a Trump supporter talking like, hey, what about this? And then you shut them down immediately just because they're a Trump supporter, you are a bigot. Right
wow,
there.
Dude. Could you get closer to the
I'm
mic
sorry.
there?
I wanted to say it for emphasis. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow your eardrums. I wanted to make a point of that. I'm tired of seeing that. You know
I
what I
have
mean?
a feeling you have a personal vendetta against somebody.
Oh god. Okay, hold on. Sorry, an ad popped up on my screen and just people. I apologize to those listening later on. That popped up. It's pretty real quiet, but it's gonna pop up. But anyway, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm tired of people not willing to talk with each other and not have the conversation. Like me, I love me and your. Like even if not a bunch of people watch it, I love just being able just to like talk with you about things because as real quick, Black Sheep, the game in G, I think I can whatever the name is. I'll just go call you Black Sheep because it's a long name and I am tired and I can't read because I'm stupid. What's the topic? The topic is we're talking about racism in America. Are all cops racist? Just the whole everything that's going on right now. Racism is the big topic, and right now we were just getting done talking about people that are not okay with hearing other people's opinions on things, and not okay with. We were just talking about people calling other people's bigots, and then not being able to hear other people's opinions. That's what we just got done talking about. But we talked about the George Floyd case. We talked about David Dorn and how the media blew up George Floyd, but you hardly saw anything on David Dorn because it didn't fit their narrative.
How the media stokes the fires for.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot so far.
Yeah.
So, but let's try to get back on track. Oh, well, actually, we're still on track, basically.
Yeah, I was about to say we're still good.
And I cannot say that word. I'm gonna do my best. Baya Zena Supreme. I'm just gonna call you Supreme. I'm sorry. I think you're speaking Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I apologize. I see you trying to type something in the chat. I'm gonna read this from Black Sheep. You just typed in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the stream chat. You know why that is? People are not wanting to hear the other people because social media gives everyone a voice to have an opinion about something. Yes, it is Spanish. Yeah, I look like Spanish. I just don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with. Yeah, I think everybody should have a voice on everything. Like that's another thing where people say just because
media gives. I think social media does the exact opposite through memes and algorithms.
That's the company though, not the idea of social media where it's like the way it's intended.
Isn't reality.
When the way it was intended is just to give everybody a free voice to say what they want out there.
The way it's intended, but
I agree,
it doesn't work like that.
It's not working about that now because those people have an agenda and they're trying to shut people down if they don't agree with them.
No, there's it's just money. It's the money, dude.
Me and you were saying the same thing, but just differently, and you're disagreeing with me, even though you're saying the same thing. Yes, it's money. It's because their narrative gets them more money because they're getting funded by other people that agree with them, and they're getting funded to shut people down.
Social media doesn't give people a voice. It gives them. I don't think it gives them a voice.
It's intended to give them a voice.
It's intended, but I'm just saying it doesn't do that. People read these algorithms to their narrative. They're tiny little microsec, and it's a pyramid. It's a graph. You are a graph on social media. They mold you. They're like, oh, he likes this, but he also likes this. But we can get him to like this over here, and this gets to a bigger tree, and it fucking fans out till you don't even know what you are anymore. That's what social media is. It's an algorithm bent to change you as a person.
I agree and disagree with that because I think it's yes, but it's more so. I think like the simplicity of it, where it's like they're like, oh, this person likes this, and they try to get you to like go to another thing. I get what you're saying, but I think it's more of, oh, this person likes this. Well, let's try to change their mind by putting this in their timeline. Oh, let's introduce this there because we want them to think this way.
Those algorithms, I think you don't give enough credit to these freaking these computer scientists.
No, I
creating these
agree with the
algorithms.
I agree what you're saying about the algorithms, but I just think they're doing a different thing. I think they're trying, instead of just trying to push you in a way where it's like, oh, you like this, let's bring you here. I think it's more of a, they're trying to get you to think a certain way, not get you to think what you actually want. You know what I mean? They're trying to push
But
you.
the thing is, it's not one person. There's multiple. It's the people that are on social media. It could be you as posing as something, sending this out while receiving data and being able to sort that data in a way. Like, these are millions. This is the new thing, dude. This isn't just Facebook. Facebook just sells the metadata, and what you do with the metadata is up to you, and that's the big problem. And then some of these people are getting it down to a T, and we saw that in the 2016 election, and we see that right now, and we're going to see this go more. They're seeing how strong they are, how they can infiltrate. I don't think they not like some secret thing, but I think something is definitely stoking the fires, because, like we say, the media, like CNN and shit, like we do watch the videos from them, but how do other people use those videos, and how do other people use the words and angles, and you know what I mean? Add that algorithm there with fueled emotion, you're going to get riots all over America.
I mean, that's what happened essentially. But okay, I'm gonna read this comment from Black Sheep. It says, I think he makes a pretty good point here. He says, let's see, back in the 90s, people would have to call or send a letter or talk to their neighbor about things, right? Well, now if you have a problem, instead of 20 people knowing about what I want to say, now it's 20,000, so dumb shit spreads faster. Now, I agree. Yeah, you can push a lot of false narratives or a lot of false truths a lot faster. Same, but also it's the same thing. It's a double-edged sword, because you can also send a lot of good information out there faster, or a lot of good causes. So that's the unfortunate thing with social media or information. The way it spreads fast now is a lot of dumb shit can get spread, but a lot of good things can get spread too. But
not a lot of good things get spread through social media.
That's true. I'm not saying, yeah. Not a lot of good things do, no.
I'm just being honest.
No, yeah.
Not a lot of good. There's basically no good things that come through social media.
Well, hopefully this is one of the good things that gets spread through social media. So share this video. I'm just sorry, little plug right there. That's too easy.
Yeah.
where we talk about difficult topics, and we don't really, we're chill about it. And we want to talk to people. Blue waffle.
Sometimes it's chill.
Black Sheep just typed in blue waffle. That's that's dumb shit. Yeah. Yeah. Don't look that up. Don't look up blue waffles. That's just a side thing. Let's not talk about blue waffles.
I still haven't looked. Yeah, I haven't.
Don't do it.
I don't know what it is. Okay.
Don't do it.
Blue waffle. Blue waffle.
Yeah, don't. Okay, let's stop talking about that. Let's get back on. Now we're off topic. Let's get back on the topic about racism and everything. So we're talking about the media and everything, and so like, do you think a media has a huge play in like what's going on? Do you think the media? Do you think the media helped what happened, or do you think it hurt what happened? Like, do you think it helped the cause, or do you think it made things worse? Like,
they did it. Whatever the riots are because of the media. It has nothing. Yeah, that's it. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I
mean,
that's
the fires. You repeat the same video. They're like, holy shit, look at these numbers. Let's just keep on repeating this video. If we get any more videos like this, we'll just repeat them. Ooh, riots. Those are definitely getting a lot of spikes. And that's probably not even a person doing it. It's an algorithm.
No, I think it's partially a person that's pulling the string, because
I don't think so.
The algorithm can only do so much. The algorithm can only do to the extent of what the person programming the computer can do. So it's ultimately it's a person.
They're reading the data.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. The algorithms are reading the data off.
But it ultimately comes down to someone's putting that information to the algorithm to say, hey, do this.
Yeah, there is a human that says what to do, but yeah. And the media did this because they're getting big bucks. Big bucks.
Yeah.
Money. It all comes back to money.
Yeah, I think when I look back at like what the media has done and what like the kind of stuff they just like they limitly cover or they try to like fit like what they're like what they want to say in their purview and like not I think the media does that a lot where they just want to they only want to say what they want you to see and not give whole they want to give a lot of half truths to that fit what they want to push out and
At the same time, they got their hands full during the Trump administration.
oh we're not talking about Trump right now but I'm
I
just
know,
saying
but I'm just saying in the times, like they're like go, all, whatever fucking it used to be, whatever fucking dumb shit Trump said. Then they had COVID-19. They're like, yes, saved. People are tired of listening to this idiot talk. Then they're like, oh man, and then they're like,
I
see
I
the
agree with
fucking
you
George
Black Sheep.
Floyd
Black Sheep
thing,
just
and
said in the
they're
comment
like,
oh,
they're
sorry.
like, oh my god, cop choking out a black guy. We hit the gold mine, and they
Yeah,
just fucking ran with
that's what
it.
I'm saying. Yeah, well, Black Sheep made a good comment. The news does not broadcast the news anymore. I agree. It broadcasts their narrative because there's a lot I've seen. It's where everyone gets ratings. I agree. Yeah, because there's examples of like I forget his name off the top of my head, and I hate that I forget it. There's this exact situation happened about 11 months ago, and anybody remembers where that happened, like that are watching this later or is in the chat now. I forget what state it was in, but there was a cop that did the same thing to another white guy and it killed him. Like he put his knee on his neck, and the guy died from it.
Maybe.
And it was not
Oh,
newsworthy because it was a white cop killing a white guy.
oh yeah.
Like that's
What?
you
People
know,
don't like to watch that.
but that's the point though. Like this brought out a whole mess of things, and when you think of the power of the media, if they would have presented this story differently of say instead of saying racism, 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 if instead they would have been preaching police brutality, police brutality, police brutality, maybe we could change how our police system works, and maybe we can actually effectuate some change instead of people just making an excuse to riot, loot, and just steal shit. Because that's what happened. Is people started protesting, and people that just hated America just started breaking shit, and they wanted to loot shit. Like I'm not saying all the
Yeah,
protesters were bad, but I'm saying look at all the major cities, and if a protest was there, a riot came of it. So I'm just yeah. I
yeah.
look at the media and I think if they would have approached this situation differently,
Put
we
go
could have actually
put,
effectuated some change.
and at the same time, I'll do what I normally do: put myself in their shoes, and as a journalist, as a noble, protected by the First Amendment press, you know, they're just doing their job at the same time.
Okay, but
What is the most serious shit going on that you need to report? And that's what it is. So maybe they're just doing their jobs, and they're tired of people telling them how to do their jobs, just like cops. And just, I mean, being honest, and just like in the narrative getting pushed, you know.
all right,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a narrative. That's not a narrative. That maybe they're just doing their jobs, and they might have a narrative. So that's two different sides of the fence.
right. Well, I got a comment in the stream chat from we got a lot of people coming in tonight, and I love it. From Lab Potato, the whole point of a protest is to raise awareness so people can be motivated to vote and elect people to try to change things. I agree. I support protests. What I don't support is when people start doing riots. I don't
I
agree
don't
with.
think a pro. I don't think a protest is supposed to. I mean, I guess.
It's
Yeah, a
supposed to
protest
infect.
is
The
a
whole point of your
protest
protest
isn't
is to
supposed.
affect change. Like you're protesting something because you don't like how
You don't
something is.
protest to get people to vote, though. That's
Well,
not
that's how we
protest.
change things in America is we vote on
Yeah, we.
issues. So that's how
That's how
that's how you change
we.
things. You
Yeah,
vote on
that's
things.
exactly how you change. Yeah.
Okay, so his statement is true then, because he's saying the whole point of protest is to raise awareness so people can be motivated to vote and elect people to try to change things.
I don't believe that. I believe the whole point of protest is to, you know, tell people your cause. You don't protest to get people to vote. That's what the fucking campaign's for. The campaign's there to get people to vote. That's what a campaign is. Protest is to protest against something that's going on.
Right. Hold on. So I want to read this thing from Lab Potato. It says, have you guys read anything from the academia side of things of why people protest, riot, and loot. He says maybe a little Google scholar would benefit you too. Okay, so I would love you to educate me why riots and looting things, people's personal business is a good thing. Innocent people had nothing to do with the situation. I want you. I would love for you to defend riot and looting. I'm all for protesting. Go for it. But as soon as you kick in the door of some innocent person's business so you can steal some shit because you actually don't believe in the cause of the protest, then I don't support that. So go ahead, Laptop Potato. I would love for you to defend rioting and looting of an innocent person's business. And you are more than welcome to jump on our Discord if you want to join in on this conversation and defend some looting and rioting, because I don't agree with that. I don't think innocent people or businesses that have nothing to do with why the protest is going on, especially local businesses, like small businesses, they have nothing to, like, they shouldn't be destroyed. I don't agree with that. You shouldn't have to destroy your community to get your point across. I disagree with that. I'll defend that up and down. I'll defend that. Like, what's the whole point of changing something when you're just going to destroy your community?
There's a couple places. Whenever I first watched the video, I was all for it. I was like, "Yep, let it burn until they stop killing black people."
And then we had a good conversation about it.
Yep, and then I put myself in the shoes of the cop, and then I thought about maybe, something, a realm that not a lot of people think about, of maybe why things are going on. People are like, let's talk about it. How can you talk about something you don't know? You know what I mean? Maybe we need to revisit what's going on in the last 4,000 freaking years, and maybe talk to some psychologists instead of a fucking journalist. You know what I mean? Talk to people that can actually help us through science, and use science, and stop using our emotions for shit.
Sorry, I'm chatting something real quick.
So that's where I'm at. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for the whole fact of, and I'm, not 100% sure, but there's a lot of fucking racism. I can't tell if it's ignorance or racism, or the last 4,000 years of evolution, with a hint of news media and a hint of freaking social media. And I think the social media really got it to the point.
Okay, so I want to read this from Laptop Potato, and this is another, like, this is one of the points I made earlier about people that aren't willing to have the conversation. Like, he says, my point is for you guys to do research on your own things you guys are ignorant about. I am not here to defend myself to you guys, but have fun, enjoy your own intellectual laziness. We're not trying to be intellectual lazy. We're just out here just having a normal conversation with two people. That's the whole point of this podcast, is me, yin and yang, me and him talking, and having people just come in and us chatting about issues as normal people. We're not experts.
Yeah,
we just want to talk about things and how we see them. And if people want to come in and chat with us, they can. But just to come in and say, do a Google research, or like, I invited you just to come out and say, hey.
Google research on what?
He said that he's like, once you guys Google why people protest, riot, and loot. I get why people protest. They want to see something change. They protest about it. That's fine. But I want to hear you call me intellectually lazy. I'm calling you intellectually lazy because you are not willing to defend rioting and looting. I laid out a premise to you: defend rioting and looting, and why it's okay for people that are with innocent people are getting their businesses kicked in, and you are not doing that. So I don't think I'm intellectually lazy. I think you are, because you're not willing to have the conversation with somebody.
And I also agreed that I did feel like that till I came to a realization of, what's going on. It's like a profound thought where it left me strictly kind of in the middle and more, perceptive to the real world, and not digging into Google Scholar. How about you, not you, or not trying to be rude or nothing, because I respect your, whatever, but the real world. Why don't you dig into talking to, the outside world instead of sitting there on your laptop? because that's what what I did, and I like going out and talking to people of
Oh, I
all
love
different
talking to
ages,
just random people.
and yeah, Kroger's, old white ladies, old black ladies, old white dudes, old black dudes, and just whatever. And I know there is some systematic racism in me, or not systematic, but like some type of
Individual, like your own bias.
individual race. Yeah, and that was taught to me as a protection. I think we all are taught that, and some of us aren't, but some of us learn that. You know what I mean? Like, so the premise on racism, I don't like to use that word, is something that is deep, and we'll never find out. But I mean, I think we will find out, but we have to look into it. We have to start spreading that narrative of not like, oh, he's racist, or like, or maybe why do you think like that or feel like that? It's a psychological thing. It's a sickness, and I don't know. I think and that's something that is private matters. That is something that you know what I mean. We'll never know. It's like depression or something. I mean, I don't know. I have no clue. It's an idea, but where's the science in it? Why haven't we brought science to this table? Psychology is a science. We could definitely spend some money trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, because we're losing a lot of money. I mean, we can't just say, Black Lives Matter, because what about the, individual racism in black people thinking that all white people are? Maybe they're just treating you because they're assholes, and they're assholes to everybody. But if they're assholes to a black person, they're racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So you agree with the premise? I'm just going. So you agree with
and
the
I
premise
feel,
that individuals are individuals and they should be treated as individuals, not as a class or a group. Like,
yeah, that's
yeah,
racism in itself.
yeah. And I wish more people would do that. But everyone like all white people are this way or all black people are this way. And like, no,
But when you
that's
rush
that's
to
racism either way.
emotion, but when you live in your computer screen, that it's a fucking volcano, dude. They're just and the more media you ingest, the more narratives, because the algorithms are set up for your narrative, and they'll feed your narrative till you can't scroll anymore. But guess what? They never stop. You know what I mean? And it's just nothing but your narrative scrolling down in every platform: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's just an endless your narratives in all different types of media
I had to get off Twitter,
formats.
man. Twitter just driving me crazy. I
But
was like,
like, I'm not on anything. Snapchat just feeding your narratives, and there's not anybody that's not open minded. It's only what you type in, and if you kind of lean in the middle, they'll take you to the left or the right really quick, because it's your psyche. And what they need to do is start paying psychologists to figure out and make up, and you can't stop it because it's free speech. And but the metadata is what's fucking everything up, is because they're getting information about us and turning us into these wolves. They can do whatever they want to us, and we're doing it to ourselves because we're feeding our own narratives to ourselves. That's what social media is. It's a freaking endless
it's
dumpster
what
of.
you're saying. It's
And
like
you're right all the time. You're never wrong, because guess what? That's your narrative,
that's called
and you have an
that's called confirmation bias. It's essentially where you're getting fed the information you want to hear, and it supports your own biasy. That's what you're
That's
saying.
what social media is. Yeah, completely. That's what it is. I mean, that's the facts.
That's why I'm real.
They wouldn't feed you information you don't want to hear.
That's why I'm all about. I
They
think.
feed you they feed you information you want to hear, and then they have a whole bunch of comments so you can fight with people on there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Well, that's why I'm all about. Like
beautiful.
I've brought this up to you before. I am all about me and you going out and actually talking to real people. I think that'd be a great thing.
A little worried about that.
You're worried about, but if like support your
I'm
own premise.
joking.
Support your own premise, then, bud. You're saying, oh, normal people are fine. I think we should do that. I think that'd be great. We have
Well, that was a camera.
yeah, get a camera out there. Yeah, record everything. I think we should.
I'm down. I would do it.
I will look up the next local protest around our area, and I think we should go to it and just set up a table and just talk with people.
I seen some people out in Columbus on the corner. That'd be a good one. That's a good idea.
So
They're just set up on a corner, all four corners.
yeah, we kind of got away from today's talk about America racism, but I mean,
No, I think we did a good
it
job.
kind of
I mean, no,
encompasses everything.
yeah.
I didn't even get to my point where I think I don't think America is in systematically like America itself, like the foundation of America, where it's everyone to be equal and free, and I don't see any laws that make it so one race has a particular advantage over another. I think there's
Oh,
individual people that make it that way, but I don't think like the laws we have set in place. I don't think America itself is racist. I think it's just people perpetuating that so that way they can put people against people because that fits their narrative and gets them more money.
originally, I believe yes, and it has to be obvious because, you know, slavery. I mean, that's just the fact that when they made the Constitution, black people were 1/3 of a person, and they didn't see us as people. But it was easily interpreted a couple hundred years because they, you know, obviously were people.
Well,
But
you're bringing in
when
the
it was written,
Constitution. Hold on.
it was written for, white people, rich white people.
You say that, but like if you look at some of the supporting documents, it even some of the founding fathers like they denounced slavery. Like this is written. This is not for now. This is for the future.
George Washington had 213 slaves.
Okay, I'm not using just him.
And
You're using
Mount
one
Vernon.
example. I'm just saying
I'm saying like
they denounced slavery, but they didn't.
Dude.
Yeah, they denounced like there's people that denounce slavery, and that's what we progress for in the future. Like,
Yeah,
we're always
there was a lot
improving
of
and always
people.
involved. Yeah, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
2020 right now, America is not racist. Like yes, back in the day, you know, before 1865, yeah, America was racist. That was a horrible time in American history. Jim Crow, that was awful.
Oh yeah, the system is gonna fuck anybody over, regardless of race. It just happens to be mainly in the lower income areas, and that's because a lot of people call the cops around there. That's the only reason, dude. I mean, pick up a police scanner. You want to know the facts? Listen to them. You're gonna hear some fucking stupid calls from some stupid areas that are like run down and shitty. And then, are there black people living there? Sometimes. Are there white people live there? Yeah, like it's a mix of people, and it just happens to be in those areas.
Yeah.
And it's just our population is small. Probably like 20% of population, maybe less. And yeah, we're definitely got more, but it's just we have the same opportunities. Not quality opportunities, but and sometimes we have an advantage of some other opportunities, and that's just the struggle. Is it a little bit harder because we don't have generational wealth, and our history is only through our genetic material? We have no pictures from 200 years ago. Is it a little bit hard? But that's what we are. We're the struggle. That's what makes us stronger. And you're not stronger than anybody else, but like I feel like that's it's a unique heritage of strength, and I think that's strength. Doing coming from the worst. Here I might have to say that's the worst. I mean, like, I'm not the worst. Okay, we can go back and fucking back in time, and but just the sheer size, the sheer brutality, the 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 simplest of things of murder from 50s. Emmett, or I forget that Emmett guy that was supposedly whistled at a white girl and was beat brutally, and they had an open casket, and it started riots. Like we've had riots because of it, and like that was that was crazy. But this right now, you're talking about cops. And the last people were, Ahmaud Arbery. Those were retired cops. So
Yeah, they're
that doesn't
still doing the
count.
wrong thing. Yeah, it
The
doesn't.
citizens, yeah.
They were doing the wrong thing too, but that's not the point.
I mean, if that was the case, I mean, like I said in that episode, I was like, what if that was the case? But I wouldn't take a gun for somebody stealing shit. But
I think we should probably wrap it up. It sounds like you're getting pretty busy on that end, and
Yeah.
we're getting close to time. It's unfortunate we kind of got off in the weeds in there. We want to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you think America is racist? Why or why not? Like, I want to hear it all. We just want to hear people have a conversation about this without, obviously be respectful to people in the comments. We want to hear from people. We want to just talk about issues. We're just two normal guys wanted to have a conversation. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. It really helps us out. We want to keep growing this channel. We want to keep getting these conversations going. Don't forget to like, comment, and hit that notification bell if you're new, so that way you can keep getting updates when we get these videos. Hopefully this week we get some shorts out, and maybe I can just cut some clips from this podcast and put them out as videos, small videos, so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you really don't want to. You just want to pick and choose some points that you want to hear about. But before we sign off, Yin, you got anything you want to say?
Nope. Peace and chicken grease.
All right. Really appreciate everybody that stuck around to the end of the video to watch the whole thing. And we'll see you again next time. Love you guys. Thanks.
Bye.